Only 20% of Japan's land was flat, which made it very hard to farm on hills and mountains. So they went to the ocean for their food. They didn't have a lot of outside reach with other countries because Japan was made up of different and had almost no connection with other countries for a long time, so they had to develop their own religion and culture. Japan's culture and religion wasn't influenced by any other cultures or religions due to the location of Japan. One religion they had was Shinto, which was a traditional religion. Extended families or clans lived in villages. Each village had a chief who was the leader of the clan. Clans on the biggest island in the Yamato region grew in power, and some clans had large armies which led them to the power they gained. In the 500s, rulers in the Yamato region got more power and had more control of the Honshu. Japan didn't have much contact with anyone at first, but when leaders sent representatives to China and Korea, they learned many new things like language, society, and government. Because of this, Japan changed in many ways. Japan learned the Chinese language and started to use it a little bit, but after a little time, more and more people started using it. Prince Shotoku was a vagrant who brought back a lot of information about China. An idea scholars brought back was Confucianism. This outlined how clans and families should behave. When scholars brought back the teaching of Confucianism, it really impacted Japan's religion and how families should act. Shotoku made a lot of changes in Japan. He worked at changing people's minds about Buddhism. To try and change the people's minds about Buddhism, he built a big temple. In his efforts, Buddhism became very popular. Shotoku also wanted to make Japan's government more like China's government. Nobles lived close to the emperor. Nobles had little to do with the common people of Heian. The nobles loved beauty and elegance. Nobles were supporters of the arts. Between 794 and 1185 was considered the golden age of arts in Japan. Love of beauty began with their own appearances. They had a lot of jewelry. They cared about how they spoke and wrote. Writing became very popular with the nobles. Many of the women nobles began to write diaries. One great writer was Lady Murasaki Shikobu. She wrote the book called The Tale of Genji. Most religion affected their love of rituals. People didn't have time for money and other things. Buddhism slowly gained different forms in Japan. One of these forms that was very popular was Zen. Zen was a form of Buddhism that had come from China. People who liked these ideas were warriors. Powerful nobles would fight over their land. The poor people became bandits and thieves. The samurai rose in power during the 1100s and became very powerful people. The shoguns were generals who ruled Japan. Farmers gave money to the samurai who protected their land. Samurai and shoguns grew in power so much that the emperors lost power. Samurai would defend farms of farmers that needed it. Samurai became very respected among the people of Japan, and the emperor of Japan became a figurehead. Samurai became essential to the society. Samurai followed the Bushido Code. The Bushido required all samurai to be brave and honorable. Families with samurai in it learned how to fight. They were expected to live a simple lives with discipline. The Bushido Code required all samurais to be loyal. The most important thing to a samurai is armor. The Bushido Code influenced some things in modern Japan. When invaders came to Japan, they challenged the shogun's power. A lot of nobles left very unhappy because of the war. Nobles thought shoguns didn't give them enough credit for what they did. Some nobles came to resent the shogun's power. After the war, shoguns had even more problems. They broke free of the shogun's power. In the 1400s, shoguns lost almost all of their power and authority. After the shoguns were left in the dust, new leaders came to power. Leaders started to fight and try to unify Japan under their control. The leader's name was Oda Nobunaga, who gave his soldiers guns. When Oda died, other leaders came to rule Japan and to help unify it. Leaders became very powerful. They wanted more power, so they fought for more power. Japan leaders ended up banning guns in Japan. They thought that guns would beat the samurai warriors. The isolation extended until about the 1800s when it stopped.